Hi, everybody. It is episode 555 of PodQuest.
Hey.
It is Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025. I am Chris, with me is Druten.
Hello.
And Walnut.
Yeah, I'm here mostly.
I'm
mostly here.
You'll make it through the episode, I'm sure.
I'm 90%. There might be a lot of cutting out coughing at times because I can't really mute myself. I can mute myself on
just mute
Discord.
Mute Discord, and we'll just hope that I don't need anything else.
For some reason, my buttons don't work for my streaming buttons, so I'll have to actively click the mute button to turn off the microphone. But it's fine. I should be fine. I got some sort of sick over the weekend, so yeah.
It happens. Everybody gets sick now and then.
Yeah, I think as dumb as it sounds, there's no other way I would have called this. I think I called this at the Jersey Calling show. Even though I didn't start to get sick until the Wednesday after. Like, literally after we got done recording on Wednesday is when I started feeling sick. So it's been a week.
That seems a little long to have been that.
It does, because it's another 5 days between, but yeah, there's no other reason I would have gotten sick. Like, I hadn't been out or around people. So, I don't know. Who knows?
It just came for you.
Who knows? Yeah.
It just came for you.
It's also could just be a combination of allergies and a seasonal change, because weather has been so fluctuating lately that
what?
Yeah,
it went from 80 to 50 like in the last 2 days.
Yeah, it did that on Saturday to Sunday Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. It was like 80 on Saturday, 50 on Sunday, 80 on Monday.
And today was a high of 55, and tomorrow's a high of 74. So we're gaining 20 degrees tomorrow. It's just been bonkers.
Yeah, it was wild.
It's like all of the above that probably got me, and so whatever, it happens.
But you know what? We've got a lot this time, this week, this episode, this show. Rich, what's on the agenda?
So we all watched The Prestige. If you could all see me, I shook my hands and stuff like a magician. And then Nintendo actually had 2 events since we last recorded.
We're only going to talk about the new one.
We're not going to talk about the first one because it was just about games. Most of them we already heard about, or we're just not interested in. The second one was about the Switch 2. Cobb, you read something that I'd probably read, the Kaiju Preservation Society.
Actually, this book would very much be something you were into. And
then, due to the fact that I was sick, I watched a lot of stuff this weekend. So we're going to talk about it.
Well, we're going to talk about some of it. We'll see how much time we have by the time we get there.
So, some of it I have more to say than others. So, I'm going to mention some of it and then talk about others and whatnot. I have more to say about some than others.
We're probably going to go long on the direct, I feel. We usually do.
Oh, for sure. But
anyway, what did you guys think of The Prestige?
I love it.
It was pretty good.
It's a good fucking movie.
It's a good movie.
I love how it jumps back and forth, and it's modern time with Christian Bale being in prison, but then it's not fully modern time because it's then goes back to fucking Hugh Jackman reading Christian interpreting
the
Christian
timeline's
Bale's,
all over the fucking place,
and then it's reading Christian Bale's diary. It's 3 different timelines technically, but it's all the same timeline, but it's just it's the history of these 2 guys and their battles back and forth, and and this is a movie that generally when I talk about media and things like this, I hate media when it revolves around arguably bad people. I don't generally like shows I used to watch Friends a lot, but after seeing it, they all suck. I've watched It's Always Sunny, but they all suck, and it's just generally not all that good and exciting to me or funny to watch stuff like that. And this show, these 2 guys, they're doing their best to grow, but they are both terrible people. But it just it builds.
I feel like Hugh Jackman is actually I guess major spoilers for 2006's The Prestige. Hugh Jackman, I think, is actually kind of a shitty person in this one. He really only cares about himself and becoming popular. But that is post his wife dying.
I think Christian Bale is a dick. Straight up.
One version of him is.
Well, yeah, the version of Christian Bale that we know to tie the knot, which now makes sense as to why he can't remember what knot he tied. because it might not have been him who tied that knot.
And also, like basically the version of him that was with Scarlett Johansson's character. That version of him, piece of shit. The other version of him just wanted to be a good husband and dad and do magic tricks. Because he was the one that... So, to my understanding, he was the one that came up with all of the tricks. Like, he was like the trick maker, the way Michael Caine was.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that Christian Bale, the one that was not the one that was in prison, was like actually, seemingly a decent person. He just wanted to, like, have a good life for his family.
Yes, he wanted to have a good life for his family, and they created this ruse to scam everybody, not just their audience. They scammed their family and friends. Like, that to me, like, yes, he has good intentions of just wanting to do good for his family, but he went along with this ploy that he 100% could have just told his wife about.
Yeah, that is the one part that seemed less like...
The second she got pregnant, was it from me or was it from my brother? Most likely it was from him. And B, all right, well, I got to tell you about this trick that I'm doing, and this is how I pull off my biggest trick. I have a brother. We're married. How do you not know that I have a brother? Like, that is just like, it still piles on to, like, selfishness. Yes, you're trying to build a career, but you're being selfish and not telling the people that should know what's going on. But like, the second he tied the wrong knot and his wife died, it's like, yeah, he's kind of a dick because they told him, don't tie that knot, tie the other knot. I don't think the farce was going on at that point. I don't think he was using his twin at that point. I think, but he might have been. Who knows?
No, because at that point, like, he was all like, he had to have been, because it's one of those things like no one knew. So like, you don't just like pop up with like a brother like after the fact, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So it's like it's ambiguous about that, and like I said, with the whole idea that he doesn't know what knot he tied, reinforces the fact that he was probably doubling with his brother during that time, and his brother should have known the whole argument. Tie this knot, don't tie the other one. Like, the second he ties the wrong knot, it's like, well, you went against what should have happened. You've done something the same way over and over and over for the last however many shows. It's always worked fine. Tie that same knot, because that's how magic works.
Yeah,
you do the same thing over and over, and it works because it's muscle memory, it's repetition, it's rehearsal. Just because she might be able to slip it once doesn't mean she can slip it when the pressure's on.
Yeah, and I will say, like, I don't think that they are, or that version of Christian Bale is like the best, but I think he is flawed more than awful. Like, you know what I mean? Like they are not, honestly, other than the brother that is super shitty, like none of them are like Always Sunny awful. They all have like catalysts that push them in that direction.
So I am convinced the brother, the Christian Bale that got his fingers cut off, is the main Christian Bale, is the ringleader between the two. I'm convinced that. Who got his finger shot off by Hugh Jackman. He's the ringleader. From that point on, like, yes, Hugh Jackman did a bad thing by shooting his finger off. But then he was the ringleader that went to Hugh Jackman's show. He was the ringleader that tried to ruin Hugh Jackman's life. And he was the ringleader to put together this farce between him and his brother. And then at the end of the movie, he switches places with his brother. And he's the one who was the ringleader, who's now back with his daughter, and his brother took his place.
Wait, did they switch at the end?
The one who I don't know if they necessarily switched while in prison, but the one who was the cause of catching the one who was in prison was the brother who was in prison.
So it was the brother that was with Scarlett Johansson.
It was the brother that was with Scarlett Johansson, not the ringleader. The ringleader is the one who basically framed his brother to go to like, it's just.
I mean, he didn't frame his brother. Like his brother found Hugh Jackman drowning in a tank.
Yeah, and so his brother is the only good guy in this, but his brother still went along with it.
But so the brother, whichever one went to the show, like he went to the show after being told not to.
Exactly. They are bad. He might have had good intentions.
I don't know that they ever did at any point.
What? Ever did what?
Had good intentions. Like, I think they were the ones that were shitty the whole time. Hugh Jackman's character, started out good intentions, and then once his wife dies, he goes off the deep end, and they both become, or all three, I guess, become just massive shitheads.
But I totally understand having that resentment. What I'm gonna say is maybe I understand shooting the guy's fingers off. Like, I understand that.
I agree.
He also wasn't trying to shoot his fingers off. He was trying to kill him. It's just somebody hit the gun.
Was he trying to kill him? Oh, yeah. No,
he was trying to kill him. He was 100% trying to kill him. I understand that, especially because, he is responsible. Christian Bale is responsible for the death of Hugh Jackman's wife.
Mm-hmm.
But, they kept going. And it was yes, it was the idea of piling on and the competitive nature between the two, but at some point somebody needed to take the higher road. And after Christian Bale got his fingers shot off, he should have taken the higher road, but he didn't. And the problem I have with Christian Bale at that point is Hugh Jackman wasn't stealing his trick. That was Hugh Jackman's first show, and Christian Bale goes and fucks up his first trick.
Yeah, I mean he fucks it up after having his hand ruined.
Yes, yes. But the revenge has been served, but people who have been hurt don't think that way. A viewer like me, I see it as a 1-to-1 ratio. Killed his wife, he got his revenge in some way, shape, or form. There, he got you back. You don't do anything now.
Right.
But
that's not how he views it. He doesn't view it as he killed his wife. He views it as he did his job and an accident happened.
Yes. And it's wild. I don't know, man. It's a lot.
But as far as just the movie in general goes, I do, like you were started to say at the beginning, Rich, I like how the timeline is very just inconsistent with where you're at any given time. It's not a movie where it tells you where you're at. You kind of have to just use context clues and everything, because there are certain things where it's hard to tell kind of until closer to the end when certain things are happening. Like some of the meetings with Andy Serkis's character, it's not entirely clear when those are happening because they're happening so outside of everything else. It's not until you realize who Andy Serkis is and that is him going to America, after he's gone to America, that all of those line up correctly.
I mean, I don't. Maybe because I've seen this so many times in the past that I know that it is 3 timelines basically, or 3 time periods, not 3 timelines. But they explain it outright in the beginning. The movie is Christian Bale reading Hugh Jackman's diary.
Yeah,
and that point is Hugh Jackman deciphering Christian Bale's diary.
Right.
And then it's what you see mostly is the deciphering part, is the past and the relationship between the two of them. That whenever you saw Hugh Jackman limping or you saw Andy Serkis, you knew it was that middle time period.
So
or at least for me.
So I saw this movie once in 2007. So I actually forgot that the whole movie I was trying to remember what Christian Bale's thing was. I knew there was a big twist to it. I remembered the cloning stuff. I like that part of it. I remembered that Hugh Jackman was basically just killing a clone, or not. Well, he was killing the original to then become the clone, essentially.
Well, that's you don't know.
That's the thing that's kind of left up in the air, but that sure seems to be what's happening.
Yeah, well, it's so he says it at the end. He's like, I didn't know which was going to come out at the end.
Yeah.
So it's each time it was different. At one point, it might be the clone that stayed and the original teleported, or sometimes the clone would teleport and the original would stay.
But either way, I remembered that part of it. I could not remember what the deal was with Christian Bale, though, how he was doing his trick, until much closer to the end, where I'm right, twins.
Yeah, I forgot that there was a whole thing. I forgot there was a whole thing about Christian Bale. I literally did, and then they showed his first trick, and I'm or his big trick, the teleporting man. I'm oh right, what is his thing? And then and I kept questioning, like, do you learn? Do you learn? And yeah, you learn at the end that, oh, it's his brother.
But there are some early in the movie. There's like 2 meetings with Andy Serkis's character. That the way it kind of flows between scenes, it's not totally clear where in the timeline like those are happening. Until like you get a little bit further and you do see that like, oh, there's this like middle bit too.
Mhm.
It's not just flipping between the two where it's kind of that present day, let's call it, of like Christian Bale in prison and the and kind of like then the more chronological narrative of like their rivalry. But I do like the way that it jumps around and it doesn't dictate which one it's in. Like you don't, there's not like a little like caption or something like that, or like a real obvious giveaway. Like Rich, like you said, like you tell based on, is Hugh Jackman's character limping, or is he reading the diary? Like all of those little things are kind of what clue you in on what's happening. But it's not just a thing going like 6 years later, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's all, and like I get that they couldn't really do because of the way they were like, because of how they how it was edited and put together, and that the story was it's a guy reading a book about a guy reading a book, basically. You couldn't really do like modern day 6 years later, 15 years later, because if you're jumping back and forth, you're going to be constantly jumping between 6 years ago and 15 years ago, and that's going to be popping up a lot, and it just would have been dumb and confusing to put it that way.
Exactly.
It's also
like,
very Christopher Nolan to just jump timelines and not tell you.
Also, totally forgot this was a Nolan film.
One of the last good ones.
It's been a while since I had watched one post what's it called? Inception.
Yeah. So to be fair, like I've only seen through like Batman, the last Batman movie, and then Tenet, and I didn't think Tenet was all that good.
I heard Tenet was hot garbage. I really enjoyed Inception.
Yeah, Inception's great.
Inception was pre the last Batman movie.
No, or Dark Knight was 08. What was
Dark Knight Rises was 2012.
Oh, okay.
And Inception was 2010.
And then did he do Interstellar?
He did, but I never saw that.
Yeah, I never seen Interstellar, because there was those 2 space movies around that same time, Interstellar and
Gravity.
Gravity, yeah. And I never saw either of those 2.
But he also did the World War II one. I want to say he did Dunkirk, but he may have done the other one.
Dunkirk.
He did do okay. There again, that was another one of those things where there were 2 war movies that came out around the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like The Prestige. It's a good movie. Hell of a cast too.
Yeah, it's a great cast, great movie. It's one of my favorites. It's up there.
Well, anything else either you want to say about The Prestige?
Not really.
Yeah, no.
Well, I guess the question now then is, do we each want to pick a decade to do?
We could continue to do decades, or I've also been compiling a list of possible categories we can go into.
Well, if we do 2 more decades, that at least holds us over for 2 more, and then if you have a list, that'll just give us more to work off of after that.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you guys. But also, some of the movies on my list could fall into whatever decade we're going into.
Well,
so.
yeah.
I mean, that's how movies work. They all come out in a decade, right?
Yeah.
Potentially. Drew, if you had to pick a decade to watch a movie from, what decade would it be?
I don't know.
The aughts, we could do the 90s, we could do the 80s, we could do the 10s, or would it be the 10s or the teens?
I would call it the 10s.
The 1910s. Let's watch some silent films.
I think we could get Nosferatu from the 20s.
And what is it, Metropolis? Which both of those have been remade, I think.
Oh, right, because I don't know about Metropolis, but I mean, Nosferatu just had the remake come out.
There was a movie called Metropolis, and it has a fucking villain from recent Star Wars, not Andy Serkis.
Was Andy Serkis a villain in Star Wars?
He was the big guy, the giant guy.
Oh, right. Who wasn't actually giant.
Yeah. He was the clone of Darth Sidious, or whatever.
God, those movies just made no sense.
What is the other guy's name, though?
Snoke.
No, not Snoke. The other guy. The Han's kid. What's the actor's name?
Oh, Adam Driver.
Adam Driver. Yeah, I think that was called. I think he. I have to look it up now.
What are you thinking, though, Drew?
I've got no idea. I don't care.
Megalopolis is what he was, not Metropolis. And
Oh, okay.
Is that the same movie?
Well, let's do the 80s next.
Okay.
And Rich, it would be back to you.
80s.
Yeah.
80s.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Okay. So Metropolis is 1927. Megalopolis was. I thought it was because Mega and it's 80s, 1980s movies.
Yep.
Films.
There are so many good ones.
I know, but oh boy, got to figure out what movies we've watched and things like that, and then got to figure out if it's available to watch somewhere. Damn, that's not available to watch somewhere. Oh boy, this is gonna take a second, guys. Hold on. What about this one? Here we go. Look, I went to Ferris Bueller first, and it's not available anywhere. But something similar to Ferris Bueller, The Breakfast Club, is available. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Wait a second. Before we do Breakfast Club, let me check another one. We might have done this one.
Which one?
Warriors?
No, we've never done the Warriors. I've never seen the Warriors. But also, isn't that from the 70s?
I don't know. Is it? It's not available
1979.
on the... Damn it. Close enough.
I was gonna say it feels like it would be 70s.
Yeah. Breakfast Club. It's on Netflix.
I'll watch The Breakfast Club. That's a fun movie.
Why don't we just do John Hughes movies? Like that's the 80s, right?
I mean, there are a lot of John Hughes movies in the 80s, but also like he has some movies in the 90s.
I know.
But cool. All right. Breakfast Club it is.
Look, I wanted to do Ferris Bueller, but that's not available to stream anywhere.
Which is wild. I feel like that...
we can... Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It's on Pluto.
Is it not on Paramount?
Not according to Google. Google is not showing it streamable for free anywhere except for Pluto TV.
Yeah, it came up on Just Watch as on Paramount, but it looks like when I went to the Paramount website, it said no. Just kidding. But yeah, let's do The Breakfast Club.
Awesome.
Cool. All right. So Nintendo Direct. What do we got?
Yes. So there was a Nintendo Direct all about the Switch 2 that opens up with the new Mario Kart game, Mario Kart World, which like I wasn't totally sold on because I love Mario Kart, but I don't need a new one right now. But you know what? For $50 additional dollars,
every new console needs a new Mario Kart.
For $50 additional dollars, I'll get the new Mario Kart game.
Is that confirmed? Like that is what the bundle is going to be?
That's what the website shows.
Okay.
As well. So,
They said in the Direct that there was
a
bundle with.
Yeah, well, no, they said there was a bundle, but they didn't give a price.
No, the price came later, but they said the bundle was with Mario Kart.
Yeah,
nice.
So you can bundle it with Mario Kart for $50 or for $50 more. So it's $450 plain, $500 for the game. And so like I thought it was a good presentation showing what's coming up with the console. I'm totally interested in getting the console. I need to know if there's fucking Bluetooth support for this fucking thing.
Nope, not a chance.
Like nope, there isn't, or nope, they didn't say anything. Like
they didn't say anything, but
they didn't say anything because so they have their new online feature, and I'm just gonna jump around this shit, but this made me so annoyed that like, and they did this with fucking Wii. They did it with fucking Wii U and Switch. They didn't even have a fucking voice chat system. And now, like with this one, instead of having like, and the one of the things, I think the controller has a headphone jack, but like in order to have a voice chat with your friends on the console, it's just the microphone on the console, and that's it. So if you're halfway across the room from your console, you're shouting towards your console because it also has noise reduction. So any ambient noise is going to be reduced. So if you're not close enough, it's not going to hear you properly. It's just, please tell me I can connect a fucking Bluetooth headset or something to your fucking console.
No, it's Nintendo. They do not make things easy.
They you have to buy a separate camera, which all right, fine. Most consoles you have to buy a separate camera, so that's fine.
Their online stuff is 2011 Xbox.
What made me laugh the most about the online was the fact that the people who are playing online, one of the settings is taking up half the screen with just the chat bubbles of all your friends. And so, like, which, to me, I was like, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
If I'm playing games with my, like, luckily, and I commented about this on my Discord. I was basically live tweeting it on my Discord. You can adjust it, and you can have that turned off. And, like, I wouldn't mind if the top corner, if, like, it had, like, basically a Discord overlay where if somebody's talking, it lit up their face on the top corner. That's fine. But, like, I don't need to see... I want more than half my screen to be dedicated to the fucking video game I'm playing. And so you can adjust it. You can make it smaller. Sometimes if people have cameras, you can set up the camera. You can do, like, a video chat while gaming, which I think that's actually a pretty cool feature. Because, especially nowadays, if you're doing virtual gaming with friends, you're going to do, like, the video voice chat and stuff as well. Like, it's good features. I like that. Anytime I play games online with certain groups of friends, we're doing a video voice chat while we're playing party games like Mario Kart and Smash and stuff like that. If we're playing... Go ahead.
So, I feel like while it's cool that they're finally adding these features, it's one of those, like, too little, too late, because the people that do it, they're just going to keep using Discord. Because like, even kids are just doing voice chat on Discord with their friends.
It's just going to be Discord because, like, but that's the thing. That's even on PlayStation and shit now. Like, PlayStation and Xbox now have built-in Discord.
Yes.
So
that was not like a shot at Nintendo, like them doing for Nintendo games. I mean, in general, if you're playing games with people, like, I see you do it all the time. Like, you're playing PC games, you're just on Discord calls with people.
Yeah.
Like, everyone that you play games with has a Discord. It is easy to just do either a channel on a shared server or hop in, like, a group chat and do a call. Like, why use a bunch of, like, weird platforms, especially now where, like, it is becoming more common for crossplay to exist.
And that's gonna be the problem. Like, I'm gonna most likely get the Switch 2 at launch if I can. I'm gonna do whatever I can to save the money for it. But, like, I know most of the people that are on my family plan, maybe one or two of them will. Like, I have 3 other families as part of my family plan. Maybe one of those families is going to get a Switch 2. So, like, we're not even going to have those online features capable for all of us when we play still Mario Kart 8 Deluxe if we play games together, which we haven't had an online game night together in a while. So, again, it's, like, besides the point. But, like, yeah, there's silly features that, like, you're right, no one's going to use. But at the same time, you know, maybe I wouldn't have to sit here at my PC while I'm trying to game with my friends if I had this feature and we were going to do a video chat. But again, I could just turn one of my I figured it out before to not have to be at my to be able to be on my couch while gaming with my friends. But it's a cool feature, but no one's going to do it. Everyone's just going to use their laptop or their phone with Discord and whatnot.
Yeah, like Nintendo is very much. Sorry,
Nintendo. I was just gonna say, Nintendo, just give me fucking Discord integration. That's it.
Just like the other
Discord.
2 consoles have.
but
it's the same way that there's no way that this will support Bluetooth. It just won't. Like, it's Nintendo, they're not going to.
To counter argue that, like, PlayStation and Xbox didn't get Discord till very recently, within the last 2 years.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
And even, like, Xbox, for sure, I've streamed with people who we were doing Among Us. And they can't be on Discord and stream at the same time because they stream from their Xbox. So this is an Xbox issue. This isn't like a Discord issue. This is an Xbox issue. Like, they can't stream and have everyone's audio coming into their stream while on the Discord app. It's weird. So, like, there's still functionality that they need to fix and figure out with that stuff. But yeah, like, it's still a new thing to have Discord on these consoles. Hopefully they just do that. Hopefully they figure that out. I don't know if a lot of people are going to be complaining about it because, again, it's not that big of a deal. I thought it was funny more so than anything else. They're doing with that.
Nintendo's always going to be behind in everything, in just everything. Like, the only thing that they're not behind on is their actual, like, game play, let's say, because, like, technology-wise, like, most of their games are still behind the curve as far as, like, resolution, graphics, like, all that sort of thing. It's really just, like, their what's the word I'm looking for? innovation, I guess,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
their first party games is kind of what kind of lets them get away with a lot of the bullshit that they do with everything else.
I'm gonna talk about the innovation in a second when we get to like the console itself. Because I think something is kind of dumb. One of the features of the console and the controller specifically is dumb as fuck in my opinion.
The mouse,
But yes, we'll get into that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't remember what I was gonna say. But yeah, you're right. They're always pretty up to date with like innovation and game playability and making sure the games are fun. But yeah, everything's always still pretty dated when it comes to Nintendo. We're getting a new Pro controller. They have
knew
their
everything,
own,
right? You can't reuse any of the controllers. They did that once. They'll never do it again.
I don't know. Well, we're getting new. I don't know if you can't use the Switch Pro controller. I don't know if they said that.
I'm going to be honest. I'll be shocked if you can.
Like you obviously can't use the Joy-Cons because it's connecting via magnets and not the slidey part anymore. But they never strictly like it is. I
feel like they're not going to allow it.
They haven't said whether or not you can or can't. That's the thing. They haven't said you can't use the old controller. You can, and the only difference, really, there's two minor differences. One is there's no C button, which like your chat feature. There's a button for it now on your controllers, and then the other one is they kind of turn the Pro controller into like a Pro Plus, where there's two additional buttons on the grips that you can assign to other buttons. Like they're not. Cool. Yeah, that's a neat feature. So like you can have your top four, and then you can have like two others that'll like maybe instead of using B, if you're holding A to drive in Mario Kart and you want to hit the brake, instead of hitting B to brake or Y to drive and B to brake, you can hit one of the handle buttons or something like that. I don't know, but it's something
the Pro controller is one of the better like standard configuration controllers out there right now. Like like the weight is good. The buttons feel good to press. Like the Switch Pro controller is a solid one.
I'm gonna go a little ahead real quick as we're talking about controllers. I want to know because they at the end of it they showcase that they're also releasing a GameCube controller for the Switch 2. Can I use that as a regular controller? I want to use that as a regular controller.
Okay, so actually, real quick, you can use all the Switch 1 controllers.
Okay, so it is backwards compatible for controllers. I would assume except for Joy-Cons, but all the rest
you can sync Joy-Cons. They just have to charge elsewhere. Like they can't connect to the system to charge, but you can sync it to a Switch too.
Okay.
That's actually kind of cool.
I had a feeling since they didn't say like you needed to that was going to be like it was all going to be backwards compatible, but I wasn't sure. Like, but yeah, I want to know like that GameCube controller, that wireless GameCube controller that you can get. Can I use that for everything? Can I run around in Tears of the Kingdom using a fucking GameCube controller? Because I will. I 100% will if I can do that.
That's a good question. Because can you use any of the other controllers outside of the Switch Online?
The only other controller I have besides a Pro controller is I got for the Wii U, which also still worked for the Switch.
Didn't you need an adapter for it?
I got the GameCube adapter when I got Smash Bros.
Ultimate?
No, the one before it that was on the Wii U. You got an adapter and a GameCube controller with it. I got that.
Oh, I thought you needed an adapter specifically for the Switch. I didn't know you needed one for the Wii U.
It was an adapter for the Wii U. It's two USBs that plug in. Yeah. It's two USBs.
Oh, okay.
I guess I don't know why, but like you can plug it into the Wii U. You could also plug it into the Switch. I've never tried using that controller as a main controller outside of Smash Bros. So I don't know. That could be a fun little experiment that I could try. But I would love to use like I would assume you can't use the SNES controller or no, the NES controller as a basic controller, but maybe the SNES, but probably not because there's two less inputs on that. There's no control stick or C stick. But I think from GameCube onward, you should be able to use that for everything because it's got all the right buttons. No, GameCube only has Z. It doesn't have ZL and ZR. It's just Z. So
I
you
mean, the
won't be
GameCube
able
controller
to.
is fucking weird.
You won't be able to. That's
And
right.
I don't dislike the GameCube controller. Some of the buttons feel really nice, but I don't particularly care for it either.
My
Yeah, it's
favorite
weird.
thing about the GameCube controller was the fact that it was hexagonal with the inputs. So if you were going left, you stuck to a corner. If you were going diagonal, there were corners. And
It had the
helped
little
you.
grooves around it.
It helped with those grooves. I like that. That always helped me with certain games and gaming. So, but yeah, that's. I guess I answered my question that you won't be able to use a GameCube controller for everything.
Well,
But
I mean, that I'm pretty sure I saw on that controller that they were showing that it had a second Z button on top. It had a ZL. You might be able to. I could be wrong, but I swore I saw extra buttons on top beyond just the C button.
let's see. According to the image showing on Polygon, that's just the NGC Virtual Console. That's not the controller. I searched Switch to GameCube controller, and one of the first things is just Polygon talking about the NGC Virtual Console and nothing else. GameCube title, GameCube's, and it's perfect. Here we go. Gizmodo. Does it have an image of the controller? No. I don't know. Let's just. Does this video have controller in it? No. Oh, wait. Here we go. No, it's just a single Z input. Oh no, there's a. Hold on. Oh, there is. It's a very small button on the top of that input, on the top of there.
Yeah, okay.
Very small.
Kind of weird.
It is weird, but I did notice that. I was like, why is that's fucking weird? But
who knows?
So it's possible? It's possible.
Yeah. So let's see. We talked about the online, we talked about the controller and the hardware. Like, do we want to get into the details of the console itself, or do we want to talk about the exclusives or some of the things that they showed, some of the games they showed?
We talked about some of the console details when they announced them a couple months ago.
Yeah.
I feel like they didn't really give us too much more details than what they showed there. They just showed it off a little bit more.
Yeah.
But something that kind of straddles the games and the hardware is that
the tech demo?
The tech demo that they're charging for.
Oh my god.
So fucking dumb that they're charging for this.
I thought that was a pack-in. What is this fucking thing called?
Fucking should be.
What is this fucking thing called? Where's it at? I'm sure it's on this article you shared somewhere.
Yeah, it would probably be like, oh no, I was gonna say it would be the first thing, but no, it's like
Welcome Tour. Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour will showcase this much anticipated
for $39.99.
$39.99. $40.
No, guys, I'm making that up. Like,
I wouldn't be surprised.
What, dude? You know how much the Mario Kart physical is going to be?
$79.99 or $69.99.
$90 for a physical copy.
What?
It's $80 for a digital copy.
Why?
Wait, for Mario Kart World is going to be $90 fucking dollars
for a physical copy.
Is that confirmed?
What is wrong with you, Nintendo?
I haven't personally seen the 90, but I've seen multiple people saying it. The digital copy is definitely 80 though.
I gotta ask, and this is just because of how things are, is that plus Trump tax?
I don't know.
Everything we're taking in right now when it comes to new games and shit like that in America, we have to worry about Trump tax. Because of fucking today being the 2nd of April, Trump determined today is, quote, Liberation Day, and he's pushing tariffs on fucking everything. Up to 25% or something like that.
Yeah, it's fucking...
So we have
we
have to worry about that when it comes to pricing on things.
Well, I feel like all the games that release in the US are like manufactured here. I don't think they get shipped.
But I don't know what like the cartridges themselves might not be. Like components of those are probably actually made in Japan.
Yeah.
That might be. I don't know.
Or elsewhere.
Yeah.
Who knows? There's no, even on Nintendo's site, there's no game price listing at the moment.
But even still, the digital copy of Mario Kart is $80.
I want you to source that.
IGN has it. Mario Kart World costs $80, $30 cheaper if you buy it bundled with the Nintendo Switch 2. That is like if you search Mario Kart World price, you'll find the $80 literally everywhere.
$79.99 MSRP. Yep, on Nintendo's website.
That's insane.
Again, the $90 I haven't personally sourced, but I've seen multiple people say it in Discord, but I just haven't had the time to go Google that myself.
Yeah, so it's the base game is $80 on Nintendo's website. $79.99 MSRP. With 4 asterisks. So I'm trying to figure out what the 4 manufacturers suggested retail price actually be fair, yeah. So it's $80 for Mario Kart World. So as far as I've not been able to get more information on this fucking welcome tour bullshit, but it is a separate purchase, and all it fucking is the instruction manual for the console with some tech demos,
which is insane.
Yeah. Oh, which while we're at it, I remembered I wanted to talk about since we're talking about tech demos and the instruction manual of the controller, the fucking mouse feature. That's the dumbest fucking feature for this thing. Because Nintendo was all about like movement and free movement ability, and now I have to be next to a fucking table to use that feature. It's one of the most restrictive fucking features of a console I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's real weird.
I think part of it is they want to push probably for more games like Civilization, which are going to play better with a mouse and keyboard style control.
Sure.
That's just my guess. It's going to be super gimmicky though, and there's going to be like 3 Nintendo games that use it and nothing fucking else.
So here's my thing. All my travel cases then for my Switch 2 better come with a fucking mouse pad, because I'm not going to be sitting here rubbing my hard ass fucking magnet controller on a fucking hardwood table or some shit like that.
To be fair, we do not know what sort of like what it's going to be like.
Yeah, like who knows exactly how it's going to go, but I felt like that was for Nintendo, who's pushed like being able to like play anywhere kind of thing, to push this, oh, now you can turn it into a mouse and you have to like use it like a mouse. Like it's good. It's a little more restrictive it's very restrictive, but it's also, you don't need to play that way. I like the idea of when I'm playing Metroid Prime 4 to have that mouse feature when it comes to aiming, because it is a first-person shooter, and it's probably going to be cleaner than motion controls. But it's still, is it though? Like this is going to be, I don't know. It's a weird ass feature.
I mean, I agree. It definitely is.
Yeah. Anything else about the hardware or the console itself you guys want to talk about?
I mean, nothing I can think of exactly.
Okay. Drew?
No. All
right.
Not that I can really think of.
So then they went on, they showed us a bunch of exclusives or just upcoming games or things like that. It's going to be a lot of games that you can upgrade. So like, I believe Tears of the Kingdom might have an upgrade feature. Mario Party Jamboree is going to have an upgrade to Switch 2 feature. Things like that. I believe you can... I don't remember if they said like the Mario Party one is going to be a free upgrade if you already own it.
All of these are paid. They're all paid.
They're paid. Like, it's still backwards compatible, and you can play Jamboree on the Switch 2. But you can also upgrade it. And then it's $80 if you don't own it, and I guess probably $10 to $20 if you do own it or something. I don't know.
I'm going to double check. I want to say I saw like $30 for these upgrades.
Yeah, I don't know how much Mario Party Jamboree is, so I was just going off if it's $80.
The Mario Party Jamboree one, at least, like, they're adding legitimate new features into that. Mm-hmm. So whatever the cost on the upgrade on that is a little more reasonable than the shit they're adding into the Zelda.
The Zelda shit was stupid, because like I can use my phone as a GPS in Zelda now. Fuck off. I don't need that shit. Just put it in the fucking game. Why do I have to buy a $450 controller and then spend $20 to play the game I already own? Well, I don't have to spend $20. Then spend, say, $20 to play a game I already own, to then have to use my fucking phone to use all the features. Like, no, just give me the GPS in the fucking game. Like, that was dumb. Like, I know
Nintendo.
Yeah, Kirby Forgotten Lands, which is a game I totally forgot about. It came out like 3 years ago. Is getting like DLC, and so that's coming on Switch 2. They showed us like it's gonna have better frame rate and stuff for Pokemon ZA. So like they were just letting us know like all the new games are gonna be, they're good. Everything's gonna run better.
You know what? I will say I appreciate how they in the trailer how they showed that. Like I'm trying to think like a lot of times when like Sony or Microsoft or whoever talks about like frame rate, for instance, all they do is they just show you side by sides of things. And to me, especially when you're watching it over a YouTube video,
Yeah.
they look identical. You cannot tell the fucking
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
With this, like when Nintendo's like, and this will support up to 120 frames a second, and here's what that means, and they just showed 2 images with Mario like static images of Mario jumping and like the path he would take with just a bunch of different Marios, and it just showed you that with the higher frame rate, there are more instances of Mario in the jump.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was such a good visual representation of what frame rate actually does.
Yeah.
That you don't get when you're watching these things on a trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100% agreed.
Also, hold on real quick. One thing on frame rate, I did want to kind of loop back that I forgot. When they were talking about the chat feature and the fact that people could all stream their video in the party chat thing, holy fuck, how did they put that shitty frame rate in the made up
looks
video?
so bad.
Like all the people's gameplay was running at like 5 frames a second. Like, what the fuck?
Honestly, though, that's I've watched people do streaming on Discord, and I've seen their frame rate be that bad.
Oh no, I'm not saying it won't be that bad, but why would you show off this feature and make it look like shit when in a fucking made up bullshit? Like they could have just had all that video be 60 frames per second.
True, but
of, like just show jank.
I will say when it comes to something like that, I will counter with you're talking about nerds here, people who got mad about fucking Puddlegate in fucking Spider-Man. So if people get this feature and try to use it and then see the low frame rates when the trailer showed it running perfectly smooth, there's going to be big complaints. At least show me what it's going to look like. But also on top of that, you're talking about Nintendo, whose video today was off sync by at least half a second, if not more.
Oh no, agreed.
And then crashed halfway through.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that happened. This was an uploaded video. Like, I don't know what was going on. That
was the weird thing. It's like it's a premiere. It's not like they're live streaming it.
They were not live streaming it. It was just a premiere, and that's not a YouTube issue. I've watched premieres of videos on YouTube. Like sometimes things skip, but like it catches up. They were actively changing it as it was going, or they fucking recorded this thing like that, which is also weird. So
I never got a chance to go back to see if it was better.
I haven't rewatched it. I'm thinking of doing like a reacts video for YouTube for this weekend, but like I haven't gone back to it yet. It's an hour long, man. I was not expecting it to be that long. But yeah, so we got announcements for a new Donkey Kong game. Which that's cool. I haven't played Donkey Kong 3D World. I haven't played a lot of Donkey Kong in a while. Donkey Kong hasn't been in the limelight in a while, so I'm down for that. I'm down to check that out. Like I said, Kirby is getting DLC.
Kirby Air Ride and Mario Kart in the same year.
Oh yeah, they're dropping Kirby Air Riders, which is a full-on fucking kart racing game for Kirby, Mario Kart, and I know this is like a stretch, but Nintendo GameCube Virtual Console is also getting F-Zero. So they're just doing three straight up racing games for themselves this year. Like I said, third one is a stretch, but still. They showed us news out of stuff. Who cares? We knew about Metroid Prime 4. We finally got to see like actual gameplay. Or no, we got to see that last week. And then they showed us like the stuff with the mouse feature. We talked about Jamboree. We talked about ZA. We talked about the tech demo. Oh, do we want to talk about Drag X Drive?
So I think I missed that one.
So it's wheelchair basketball that has to use mouse controls, which I mean, it looks like a good way to use mouse controls, but
it looks like a pain in the ass to fucking play because you have to, and so like to move forward, you have to move both controllers. You have to do two. You have to do two controllers.
It's making Nintendo bullshit.
Yeah, so you're two forward. So you're constantly throwing your hands forward because you're rolling like your wheelchair basketball. To turn, you have to like only use one hand or only use the other. Like to shoot, you raise your hand and you toss it.
Yeah.
Come on, Nintendo.
I don't understand
Like,
why they keep wasting time and resources on this motion control stuff. No one likes it or uses it.
Yeah.
Ever.
Like yay for representation, but come on, Nintendo. You could have done better.
Yeah, there are other things they could do with that.
Yeah.
And it's because like every console since the Wii has had motion controls from Nintendo. Nobody uses them.
Yeah.
Like no one used them on the Wii U. Everyone played 1-2 Switch once, and that was it. And then never used the fucking motion controls again.
Yeah.
Like, but they just keep ham-fisting them into these fucking consoles for people to not use, and for like a handful of games that might actually be decent games to like force you to use them. And it's just like, nope, I'm good. I'll just not spend my $90 on your bullshit.
Yeah. I can't find a list. I've just been going down this article, and the next thing it shows up is we're getting exclusively for Switch 2. If you are signed up for the expansion program for Switch Online, you are getting Nintendo GameCube games,
which is cool.
I can't find the list of everything that they said was coming, but it is launching with Wind Waker, F-Zero GX, and Soul Calibur 2. Which I'm surprised it took them this long to get us another way to play Wind Waker, because they did give away Wind Waker for free on the Wii U shortly before the Switch 1 came out.
Well, didn't they have a
or it wasn't like it wasn't free, but like it was free for some reason for a short amount of time.
You could get
like,
it
if
with
you had
something.
it. Yeah, I don't know. I know I had it on my Wii U. I just never got around to playing it.
Yeah, like I am surprised that they didn't that and Twilight Princess HD weren't. No, wait. Yeah, no. Did Twilight Princess HD make it to the Switch? I know Skyward Sword did.
I don't think so. I don't think it got it. Twilight Princess. I'm gonna scroll up because then after
no, it doesn't look like it did.
After that, we get a couple of exclusives. I want to talk, we get one exclusive and then two like pretty big third parties. So I want to go bottom to top and save the exclusive for last. But Hades 2 is coming to Switch 2, which I mean, not really a shocker to me.
Yeah,
Hades
cool,
1 was on there, but it's pretty cool. Deltarune, which I haven't played, is Deltarune a new game, or is that? I know I've heard that name before.
Episodes 3 and 4,
chapters 3 and 4,
or chapters 3 and 4. Deltarune is like a spiritual successor to Undertale.
Yeah,
that's why it looks like Undertale.
Then we got our first, or one of two new titles announced, because technically we knew Mario Kart was coming because they showed that at the first Switch 2 announcement.
Yeah, the only thing we didn't know for sure is if it was a new Mario Kart.
Yeah, so like that was a new announcement, but not really. So one of them is Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment, which is an isekai where Zelda from Tears of the Kingdom goes back in time to time before Breath of the Wild, like well before Breath of the Wild, which kind of fucks up the timeline because like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom take place at the end of the timeline of Legend of Zelda. And to a timeline they're going to is basically Skyward Sword, it seems. Like this is a timeline before Hyrule Castle was even built, is what it seems. It's a weird thing. Obviously it's not canon, it's Koei Tecmo. I love the Hyrule Warrior games. It's definitely on my list. I know I was a little frustrated and annoyed with the original Hyrule Warriors. Or not original, but the one for Breath of the Wild, but still I love these games, so that was a cool announcement to see.
I absolutely thought this game already existed. I just had to go like look it up. I'm like, didn't they do this already? And apparently not.
No, you're talking Age of Calamity.
No, I remember Age of Calamity, but like I legitimately thought that that this had been announced already.
So Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity came out on Wii U, I believe. No,
that it
came out on
Hyrule Warriors was Wii U,
but
Age of Calamity was Switch.
And I think they did like a big expansion to Age of Calamity shortly after.
They added a bunch of weird stuff to it. Yeah,
that's probably what you might have been thinking of when if what you might have been thinking of.
I also don't
apparently
play games, so.
Apparently, and like I don't know how true this is, but or I mean, not that I don't know how true this is, IGN, so like it's obviously true. But we're getting Elden Ring Tarnished Edition for the Switch 2, which is Elden Ring plus the expansion. And it says, according to this, it says it will arrive in the form of Elden Ring Tarnished Edition, which includes the base game, the Shadow Air Trade expansion, new weapons, armor, and torrent appearance customization, and more. So this is getting more than what everything else has for Elden Ring, is what I'm understanding from this. So it's like it's crazy that like Switch in general is getting a FromSoft game, let alone Elden Ring, and it's getting exclusive content for Elden Ring. Besides the fact that we also got announced an exclusive fucking game from FromSoft for the Switch 2.
That is apparently a spiritual successor to Bloodborne.
Which I'm not surprised in the least. If you had seen that trailer, 100% takes reference to Bloodborne. 100%.
I saw a little bit of it, but I didn't notice that because I've never played Bloodborne.
You've not really played Bloodborne, and even though I had like a 40-episode series of me playing fucking Bloodborne, you didn't watch it or anything.
I didn't, because I think those games are fucking boring.
But it's called Duskbloods. It is very Victorian inspired. It seems to be that you're playing as like a vampire of some sort. And it sold me on the console.
Oh, it's a multiplayer game? Interesting.
I mean, technically, all FromSoft games are multiplayer. You can play with other people and against other people.
The description in the IGN article is it is a PvPvE multiplayer game. So I think if this is like an always online open world type thing.
Yes. Bloodborne was the same.
Well, I'm saying there is you don't have the option to not have other people in your game.
I'm sure you can shut it off.
That's not what the description makes it sound like.
Every FromSoft game has the invaders and things like that, where it's PvPvE. It's more PvEvP. But every FromSoft game has that invaders aspect and things like that. I will have to see more, but if you can't turn off the fact that other players are going to be in this story-based game, that is a bad game, 100%. Because even Demon's Souls, one of the bosses in Demon's Souls, which is the original and the remake that came out in PlayStation 5, one of the bosses of an entire region is a PvP fight. You go in and you have to fight somebody else. But if you disconnect from the internet, you fight just like an AI-generated character.
I believe you.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
But I when I saw that it was like initially my first reaction as like they were going through the initial trailer, I was like, oh, is this a new Castlevania finally or something like that? Is like, I know that's not Nintendo, but like everyone recognizes Castlevania as Nintendo. I think actually doesn't Xbox own it now?
No, it's Konami.
Well, yeah, I thought the last time there was any sort of Castlevania that was on Xbox, but
no, Konami still owns them.
Yeah, but so like I was like, oh, are we getting a Castlevania? Like, are we getting like a new Metroidvania Castlevania game? And then it goes into like FromSoft. I was like, holy fuck, I'm getting this game. I got it. I'm getting it, and that comes out next year. Next year, yeah, 2026. So I have at least a year before I need to get this console. But I'll probably end up getting it shortly after launch if I can like get it pre-ordered early enough.
Yeah. I'm very much on the fence. Like I might put in like a pre-order just in case they announce something else that actually like catches me. But like as is, between the cost of the games and like what the launch lineup stuff looks like it might be, like GameCube is the only thing that actually looks interesting. And
no, I totally get it.
I own and I should say the only game that looks interesting on the GameCube lineup is Wind Waker, and I own it 3 different ways.
Yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it. The cost of the games is obnoxious. That's incredibly obnoxious.
I'm not going to want to spend $80 on Mario Kart. I play Mario Kart for a month. Like I don't play multiplayer games like ever. So like
and
$60 for Mario Kart is perfect. Like I don't mind that because like I do get like my like time out of it. But like $80 for Mario Kart, like they're not that much fun.
Yeah, and like the likelihood of the people I play Mario Kart generally with actually getting this new one, because they're going to need to get a new console, is very small. Not very small, but is small. Like, they'll probably get it in a year or two. Like, they won't get it at launch. So, like, I've got time, but, like, and this is me being, like, the wannabe content creator in me is like, I want to get this game. I want to get this, but also there's a lot of stuff I like for it. The responsible adult in me is like, I have to weigh whether it's worth it or not. And yeah, you're right. The cost of the games and stuff, it's not quite worth it.
Even the cost of the console, like after tax, it's a $500 console if you don't buy the bundle.
Yeah.
Frankly, like the bundle is actually the better way to go because you get Mario Kart for like $30 less.
Yeah.
But
PS5 at launch, wasn't that $600-700?
No,
I think so.
It wasn't it?
Was it 5? I don't remember what the PS5 was, but the PS5 and the Xbox are considerably more powerful consoles and do more. Like, both of them are also Blu-ray players. Like, both of them, if you don't have another device that can stream things, both of them you can stream like Netflix and shit too.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them
retail price of PS5 was $699 according to Variety.
I did not spend $700 on that. That does not sound right.
No, it was $400 for the digital only, $500 for the one.
Oh wait, hold on.
The $700 is the Pro.
Oh, the Pro. Okay,
PS5
this is
Pro.
from 2024. Okay.
Yeah.
So but still, it's $499 and $399.
$500 for a console that is probably as powerful as the PS4.
But you're also you're looking at it as a console. This is a console. This is a handheld. Unfortunately,
my Steam Deck is more powerful than it, and it's $300.
But how big's the screen? How is it a better screen?
It's a better screen because it's an OLED.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Isn't the Switch 2 an OLED?
No.
What's the Switch 2?
Just an LCD, just a bigger LCD screen.
Yeah,
what I mean, like
9 LCD. Yeah,
the Steam, my Steam Deck is cheaper and more powerful,
and has a larger game catalog available to it.
Yeah,
and like easier to do. Like Nintendo doesn't make games easy. Like getting games easy, I should say. Because like I don't. Maybe they've gotten better about this, but like I can't. The last time I tried to, at least, I can't buy a game for Erica on the Switch, without just having her Switch, and then like hoping it doesn't auto purchase or use or that she doesn't have funds in her wallet.
Yeah, the digital buying stuff on the Switch was weird.
Whereas like on the Steam Deck, I can just buy any game and just select send as gift and pick her off my friends list, and it'll send her a game. I did it with Harvestella was on sale like 2 weeks ago, and it was one of those games where like I thought she might have liked it, but not for $60 because there was a chance that she wouldn't. I saw it on sale, so I bought it for her, and she ended up liking it. But like couldn't do that on the Switch because there's no way for me to gift digital games to people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and sorry, the Steam Deck OLEDs are $550. I thought they were all OLEDs at this point, but no, I forgot. So the Steam Deck is also only an LCD. But...
Yeah, so I think I actually have the LCD screen. It is a nice screen. Erica has the OLED one, or vice versa. No, I have the OLED. She has the LCD. Right. But like we also bought the more expensive ones, which are still like the same price as the Switch 2, but more powerful. Like that's kind of my problem is like you really are paying a Nintendo tax at this point for like, and like I am also still apprehensive about these fucking controllers. Like they're magnets. How actually sturdy are they?
Yeah.
I mean, from what they showed, and this is why I really wish I got into the demo in New York this weekend. From what they showed, you need to actually like flip a switch to be able to disconnect these things.
And yeah, and they did show that.
Incredibly sturdy.
But that's brand new. What happens in 6 months when they've been popped on and off?
True.
Also, I mean,
do magnets really degrade that much over use? I
mean, if you're like taking them on and off, especially if like you're fidgety, which Rich, you are.
Well, my fidgeting would be clicking. Here's the thing: I'm not fidgety when playing games because my fidget is playing with the controls, like tapping the stick back and forth or pressing the buttons, or maybe tapping that switch that you need to tap. But I wouldn't be pulling it all the way over. It would be making that clicking noise.
Well, that's exactly what I was about to say. Is how how much pressure do you actually need to put on that button
Yeah,
to release them,
yeah.
and like how many people are going to accidentally hit that button, pull and fucking drop their screen when they just accidentally hit that button and pull the controller out. Like,
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. Even though I said this as a handheld, no one's fucking playing this on handheld. I don't. I don't really know anyone who's played this on handheld. Who's played a Switch on handheld?
I play Switch on handheld exclusively.
You're weird then, okay?
I was gonna say, like, honestly, I think probably most people don't play their Switches docked.
I haven't docked my Switch in
I've
5 years.
Even pre-streaming, I've almost exclusively played the Switch on TV and docked.
I mean, you're also in a situation where you're the one that uses your TV like exclusively, right? Like Tommy and Jensen don't watch it at all.
They don't. They only have the handheld versions, but yeah, they don't watch my TV. But like, I'm more of a niche instance than you guys are. Like, I'm sure there's a lot more people that have like, or I'm less of a niche instance than you think I am. Like, I'm sure there's a lot more people out there that have other rooms and TVs and play games in other rooms and TVs and not just.
They absolutely do. I'm not saying that like you're weird for it. I just mean like generally if I'm playing games, I'm playing in the living room, and it is easier to play something, especially on the Switch, just in handheld and have like this way. Like Erica and I can also watch something on TV because generally the Switch games I'm playing are not super like focus intensive.
Yeah, I mean, you also watch TV while gaming, and I just can't do that.
Well, I mean, you also have said before, like, you can't split focus. Like, you need, like, if you're reading, you need, like, no distractions.
I need the perfect atmosphere to be able to read. Otherwise, I get distracted, yes.
Which, like, you know what? That, you do you. But, yeah, like, I think I played Animal Crossing on the TV, like, twice. So that was 2020. And I think maybe, like, I popped it on for, like, Mario RPG or something like that just to kind of, like, see it on the TV. But like 9 times out of 10, if I'm playing the Switch, I'm just playing in handheld. Because I can just like I have the dock charging it right next to me, so I can just pop it out of the dock and just like play for a little while.
Yeah, I also didn't want to play handheld because the battery life of the Switch was so bad.
Oh yeah,
that it's like I marathon game, so like it wouldn't last during my gaming session.
I mean, I also just plug it in. Like I have like 3 different USB-C chargers near me.
Yeah.
Like the battery does drain pretty quickly.
Apparently, the Switch 2 battery is worse.
I believe it. It's got a bigger screen and probably the exact same fucking battery.
Yeah. And so actually, and one more thing I will give the Switch 2 screen over the Steam Deck is it is 120 frame per second capable, where the Steam Deck's max out at 90.
Okay.
So they are. I mean, it is seemingly a good screen, but yeah.
I mean, hey. Then the fucking original Nintendo did like 200 frames a second.
Did it
on a CRT with progressive scan? Yeah,
did it though?
Technically, but yeah, you know what? I also do like that they put a USB-C on top so that you can charge it.
Yeah, that was a good add-on.
If you're playing when it's like not docked, but when it's in it with what's it called, stand, you got that USB-C.
No. It's also way better when you're just playing in handheld. Like the Steam Deck's charger is on the top, and like if you're like, especially if you're like laying down, if you're like laying on the couch or something like that, and you have it like resting like on your lap or whatever, having the charger underneath like just makes it a little weird to hold it that way, and like you also don't want to be like bending it or anything, then potentially damaging the port or the cable. Having it on the top, you don't have to worry about that. Like it's more of like a comfort like ergonomics thing almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, I unfortunately like I want the thing to do well because like I do like Nintendo first party stuff. Nothing at this direct really jumped out at me as like, okay, yeah, this is totally worth $500.
Yeah. Oh, the thing that sold the console for me was the FromSoft game, which like we aren't even getting for a year.
Yeah.
And so like the biggest push for me to want to get this is, well, as content creation, I should probably get it. I want it, but I don't need it right away. But it's more of the, well, for my hobby that I'm kind of trying to turn into more than just a hobby, I should probably get this as soon as I can.
Yeah.
kind of thing.
If when they announce like the next Mario, like the next like full Mario game or something like that, I'll probably get it. Because I have to imagine Mario is going to be first, and then like we probably won't get Zelda for at least 5 or 6 years since Tears of the Kingdom was just a year or two ago. And at this point, like Zelda is not a console seller for me because they're going to just keep making Breath of the Wild style games, and they're unfortunately not for me.
Yeah, I mean, well, we're gonna there's gonna be a new Mario game. There's gonna be a new Smash Bros. Game. There's gonna be a new. We're getting a new. I mean, technically, it's Metroid Prime is coming out for the Switch and not the Switch 2. So, but Metroid Prime's coming out soon. Yeah, like
Metroid Prime's one of those ones where like if they would release the full trilogy, I think I'd be a little more excited for it. But
they did release the full trilogy.
I thought they only released a remake of the first one.
I'm pretty sure it's the full trilogy.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I thought it was called Metroid Prime Trilogy.
Yeah, Metroid Prime Trilogy.
From 2009. It was a Wii game.
I thought did they not re-release that?
So the only thing that because I own the Switch version of Metroid Prime. They did Metroid Prime Remaster.
Yeah.
But yeah, for whatever reason, they have not done a new one, like one for the Switch, which it makes very little sense. I'm double checking just to make sure I'm not like crazy. Yeah, no, 2 and 3 have not been re-released, but there were rumors. So I think the problem is like there were a bunch of like rumors and speculation that Nintendo had a trilogy like remake like ready, like all 3 games ready to re-release, and that they were waiting for Prime 4 to do it, and then in 2023 they released Metroid Prime Remaster just like by itself. So it's like this weird thing. It's like, are they waiting for 2 and 3? Because I never played those. I only ever played the first one. So to jump right into 4, it's like, is that worth it? Probably not.
Yeah.
But like
I thought they were already out. But also, I think Metroid Prime 3 wraps up the story that's ongoing between 1 through 3, and 4 starts its own new story within that world.
Yeah, it very well might, and I don't know because I never played 2 or 3.
No, like I'm 99.9% sure, because I think they even said that last week. Like, it's a new story in that world.
I just opened up like the premise. It says, following the destruction of Phazon, Samus fights for survival on the planet Vuros and confronts foes including the rival bounty hunter Sylix. Metroid Prime 4 introduces psychic powers which can be used to operate mechanisms and guide shots. So, yeah, probably like new, but also I would like to play the other 2 that I've never played before playing the 4th one. Just feels weird to jump right into 4. And also, like, I'll be honest, like Metroid Prime, also not a console seller for me. Like the next Mario game probably would have.
Yeah,
like
I'm surprised we didn't get like a Mario, a Switch 2 Mario. I'm surprised we didn't get something like that. I wonder was what last year, so maybe that's why they're not really thinking about it.
2 years ago,
was it? Yeah, it was 2 years ago.
Maybe that was like that might have been 2022.
No, I think it was 2023.
Okay, yeah, it was 23.
But yeah, so we haven't had a 3D Mario since Odyssey.
Yeah, and which was 2017. That was launch year of the Switch.
Yeah. So, and normally that's how it goes. Is whatever there is a 3D Mario game with the launch of the new console. It's a shock we didn't get one, or they didn't announce anything.
And I mean,
maybe it's already, maybe they're finishing it up and they want to wait until the summer to tell us about it for winter.
And that's the thing. Like, I could imagine it might be like Odyssey, which released in the holiday season.
Yeah.
It was not a launch title for the Switch.
No,
so they could do like their August, September direct that they usually do. Could be like, hey, and here are the games for the rest of the year, and it ends with new 3D Mario game November.
Yeah. But anything else for the Switch 2? Because we've been going long on that, and we still got some more stuff to talk about.
Not really, no.
So the one real quick, slight extra added little charge that it's going to be is they're switching to using micro SD express cards.
I didn't see that, yeah.
Just micro SD cards, which look to be like 3 times the cost for equal size cards.
Yeah.
Which, like, yeah, okay, they're faster. That's what they're kind of getting at with that. But
that's the one thing where, like, I'm not necessarily like I'm not as kind of annoyed at that as I am like Mario Kart being $90 for a physical copy. Like,
Yeah.
that's just stupid, and that's because they keep using fucking cartridges.
Mhm.
But like using the fastest type of SD card does make sense.
Yeah. And the
Like,
fact that you don't need to use a Nintendo branded SD card on there, it's that to
it's
me
just what they
isn't
show
a
you.
yeah, that to me isn't like it's an added cost for external storage, but external storage is an added cost for everything.
Sure, I'm just saying, like, okay, they could have used this, but they're bumping up to this, and it's 3 times the price.
At least they're not
It's
doing the
$60 instead of $20.
At least they're not doing the Sony thing where like the PSP used memory card Duo or memory stick Duo, and the Vita used their own proprietary memory. I get you. Like it's still a pain that like they're not just like we recommend this, but it'll like for some games you can use the slower storage. It's just like nope, buy the more expensive one.
But also this console is, what did they say? Like 10 times? No, I can't remember how much more storage this console has over the Switch. So like, I have never uninstalled a game on my Switch, across my Switch and my SD card. So like, you should have more than enough space for the longest time with this console.
I mean, I don't know. It's 256 gigs, which is not nothing, but it's not.
Nintendo games just aren't as large though either.
Yeah, it's Nintendo. That's one thing Nintendo is good at, is optimizing their games and keeping them small.
It also helps that they run them off of these cartridges.
But like third parties aren't.
Yeah, and so if we're getting more third party support, then that might be a thing. But I have primarily, because it's really all that came out on Switch, first party games, and I have a ton of them on there. I've never on it. If I have uninstalled, it was very rare, very infrequent.
Yeah, let's be real. No one's buying third-party like multi-platform games on the Switch.
Yeah,
or Switch.
the only third-party game I plan on buying is the FromSoft game, because it's exclusive to there. Outside of that, if everything else is coming on PC or on, if it's on PC or PlayStation, it's going to my PC. Like if it's on, like but we'll see. Like if there's more third-party exclusive support, then you're going to need one of these fucking cards. But at the same time, it's got 10 times more storage or something like that. Like you could hold a lot more games in this console than you could in the old one. So the need for the card, at least right away, isn't that big of a deal. That maybe in the time that when you do need to get the card, maybe it's not $60 anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, all right. So like Elden Ring is 60 gigs.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have 4 games of Elden Ring. So, like,
yeah, but we're talking like how much of the Switch 2 are you going to fill up at launch? Like like I said, I get that like it is more expensive. They're pushing to go to this thing it's good to have it faster. It's more expensive, and that's kind of annoying for everyone who already has the thing. But how fast are you going to actually fill up your Switch 2 to really require this right away? And how long until...
Again, it depends. WWE 2K5 is 100 gigs.
Is that going to be on Switch too?
Yes, they announced it. Okay.
Then you might need it right away. But again, who's going to get WWE 2K?
Somebody. Like
if they have other consoles, they're going to just get it on the other consoles.
Well, but I'm saying, like, how big's Mario Kart going to be? It's like fucking open world racing game. Mario Kart's going to be like 70, 80 gigs.
No, it's going to be 15 gigs. It'll be fine.
Oh, we'll see.
Everything's compressed. But yeah, I think it's safe to move on from the Switch stuff.
Yeah.
What is next? Oh, right, I read a book. So Rich, like you said at when you were doing the agenda, I think you would enjoy this book. So it's called the Kaiju Preservation Society. It's by John Scalzi, something like that. He writes a lot of it's like sci-fi humor, I guess would be the best way to put it. They're very the dialogue is very like kind of like snappy, and there's lots of like jokes and stuff in it. But this particular book happens actually during COVID. So the book picks up at like in early 2020, right before kind of everything shuts down. Follows a character who gets laid off from this company that they're working at, and basically becomes like a DoorDasher. And in the span of like doing that, they bump into somebody like that they went to like college with, who is doing very well for themselves. And this person just happened, like, they order a lot of food, so like they keep delivering food to this person over and over again. And after like a couple months of it, the person says like, oh, like I'm getting ready to head back out on the road for like the company I work with. And like conversation breaks down, and the guy offers the main character, who up front, the author purposely never genders the main character. Their name is Jamie. So it's kind of left very ambiguous whether they're male, female, or something in between. So they the guy who has this job, like, basically offers them a like shot at a job, and it turns out that his job is kind of protecting kaiju, but not the Japanese ones that like you think of. These ones are way more kind of, what's the best way to describe them? They're more just like sentient mountains from the way they're described. Like, you almost can't tell that the way they're described in the book is you can't necessarily tell that they are a living creature until they move. Like the human brain does not know how to process what it's seeing until the thing actually does something. And so one of the things that the book kind of like moves on is stuff like Godzilla. Like, they actually reference Godzilla early on. Kind of really happened in this world. So in the 1940s, 1950s, there were a bunch of like nuclear experiments. And what those did was actually open up a rift between two like alternate realities. Well, ours and an alternate reality where these giant monsters exist. And it happens that these giant monsters just feed on and are attracted to like nuclear fallout, essentially. Mm-hmm. So all the nuclear testing and bombs and stuff like that were happening back then kind of weakened the barrier between the worlds. And one of these creatures came over seeking the radiation as like a source of nourishment. And it happened to be like in the sea around Japan. And it apparently was like, very, very quickly contained and everything like that. But like some Japanese military people saw it and like word got out. And then that became the Godzilla movies that everyone's familiar with. But like so the book it's the KPS, the Kaiju Preservation Society. They do these rotating shifts where there's like 3 or 4 teams that for 6 months at a time are in this alternate world studying the kaiju and like how they function. And they're talking like, yeah, like these things have completely different biologies. Like, nothing about biology on our Earth makes sense over there. And it was just really well done and really short. It's like 250 pages. Nice. Reads super fast. Like I said, like it's very snappy. Like, there's not a lot of like downtime. There's a lot of dialogue too, which kind of helps it move around. It's not a lot of like descriptions. It's a lot of like the characters talking to each other about what's going on. Mm-hmm. And like they very, very early on introduce like who the villain is, and so even though it's supposed to be a little bit of a surprise, like right away, it's like, oh, that person is obviously the villain. Like when something bad happens, it's like, oh, yep, that person from 3 pages ago, they're the reason this happened.
Yeah, nice.
And if you listen to the audiobook, it's actually Will Wheaton who is the narrator.
Nice.
And I've heard a lot of people complain about him doing audiobook narration. Like, I listened to a little bit of this book, perfectly fine. Like, no complaints with his narration. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm probably actually going to try and read a few more things by him. Like, this is the second John Scalzi book that I've read. I also read he did one called Starter Villain, where it was basically a guy's like great uncle who he hadn't seen in like 30 years dies and leaves like everything to him. And it just turns out that guy was also like one of the world's premier supervillains. Okay. And that one didn't necessarily land for me super well, but it was like fine. This one though, like I had a lot of fun with, so I'm a little more interested to see like some of his other stuff and see if those work too. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. It was a fun book. Nice. I definitely recommend checking it out.
Sounds good. That sounds good. Yeah. You did audiobook on that, right?
Well, but I kind of flipped back and forth because I had the ebook from the library.
You have an ebook, right? Yeah. Okay. Never. I was gonna say lend me it, but you have an ebook. Nice. That sounds good. Sounds interesting. I might have to look into it. Find it.
I definitely think you would enjoy it. Like I said, it's short. It reads super quick. And and it does neat things with kaiju because like
Nice.
it's using terms that you'd be familiar with from like Godzilla movies that even like I'm familiar with,
Yeah.
without, but while like making it its own thing still,
Mhm.
and it uses a lot of like just real world like connections to things like there's quotes and references to like different movies and stuff, because like it is the real world, like it's supposed to
Yeah.
be like modern times.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Nice. And then last time we have Rich, you watched a bunch of stuff.
Well, real quick, I just did some research. It was very basic, rudimentary research. Just FYI, on the storage aspect, I have on my Switch installed Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition, 13 gigs. The PC version on Steam recommended 25 gigs needed. On my Switch, Monster Hunter Rise, 19.7 gigs recommended on PC via Steam, 32 gigs recommended. Then
Now,
lastly,
do you have the cartridges for these games, or do you
no,
have
these
the
are
digital?
these are digital versions.
Okay.
At least for Vesperia. I can't remember for Rise, but I know for Vesperia. And then here's where it is. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which isn't as big as Mario Kart World, but still, with all the DLC, base game is 6.2 gigs, software is another 6.7 or software is 6.7 gigs for the base game. Update is 4.4 and DLC is 0.1. 11.2 gigs for for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So like even third-party games are smaller on this console than they are in the recommended PC version. But also, like, I don't know what the normal console size is because consoles have to be set up differently and whatnot. But just a showcase of size, I guess, a size comparison.
Yeah,
For this
some of that's
console.
also going to be the what's the called, like the image quality and stuff. Like
Right.
Switch quality is lower than what you can get on PC, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
But
so
and that's what I'm saying. Console versus PC. There's going to always be PC's going to always be bigger, but it's still like it was. I wanted to check and see how big Mario Kart was on the Switch, and it was 11.2 gigs, including all the DLC.
I know I have a ton of games installed on my Switch too.
Yeah,
It will be interesting to see like whether the Switch 2 like has a similar decent situation with storage, or if like Drew was saying, like, you know, it burns through it quickly and you need these like extra large, more expensive SD cards to handle it, or if you're going to be like uninstalling stuff a lot.
yeah, and we'll see exactly what happens when it all comes out. I just was like, let me check my Switch and see how big things are.
Yeah, like things aren't going to be the exact same size. Like NBA 2K25 on PC and consoles, or PC and PlayStation and Xbox is 150 gigs, where the Switch version is 58 gigs.
Yeah.
So, but again, I mean, you know, again, yes, not a ton of people are getting NBA on Switch, but some are. Somebody's buying it.
Somebody
that's
will.
a quarter of your fucking hard drive.
Yeah. But all right. I watched a bunch of stuff this weekend because I came up with being sick, and so excuse me. And so I didn't really feel like doing anything or streaming or whatnot, so I decided to watch some stuff that I had either been behind on or just stuff to be comfort shows and whatnot. Trying to find my fucking list in our fucking chat, and we talked too much today. Here it is. So we're gonna start with the quickest and easiest one because it's still ongoing. I started watching Daredevil. I think it's got like 3 more episodes left, including not including today's. I think, I think it's 9 total episodes. Today's might have been 7, so there might only be 2 left after today. That is a really good show. It is.
I've heard good things about it.
It is the best of the Marvel TV shows. Like, it's as good as it was on Netflix, and it was fantastic on Netflix. It starts off with like a very rough scene, a very sad scene, but then just builds up and builds up and builds up. It's a really good story, and I absolutely love it. It's got a lot of callbacks and throwbacks and references to the current modern MCU. I'm just gonna like, not really much of a spoiler, but one of the later episodes has Kamala Khan's dad in it, which is a really cool episode. Yeah. So like that cameo is it's a little spoilery, but it's still like I'm not calling that a real spoiler. But it was a really cool thing because obviously Kamala, Jersey City, Daredevil, New York. Obviously, there's a likelihood they're gonna collide. But yeah, it's a really good show. Definitely check it out. I really like what they're doing, and I tweeted this out the other day while watching it, and it was I used to question why people would vote for people like Wilson Fisk to be mayor and Lex Luthor to be president. And now look at our political climate. You've got that, and it's just dumb.
Yeah.
People are dumb. So that was the first thing I watched. The next thing I watched, I'm going to be quick on, is another Marvel thing. It was season 3 of What If. If you've stayed with the What If stuff, it's really good. It actually, like, What If has a story going through it, kind of. Like, it's all vignettes, but it also has, like, it pulls in characters from here and there, and it adds new characters, and like that there is an overarching story that like comes to play near the end of each season. And each season has wrapped up with characters from the previous season like interacting. And so like even though it was still one shots, you still had that little bit of here's like the overall story. And animation's fantastic. Story was really cool. I enjoy the series. I enjoy it a lot. I like what they did. One of the funnier parts of the series is did either of you watch What If?
No, I've
1?
never watched any of it. I can guarantee Drew didn't either.
Yeah, but I don't know. If I remember correctly, the first season the episodes were shorter, and it's not like just superhero. It's like it's got some funny season and episodes to it. So one of the earlier episodes in season 1 was what if I can't remember what the what if was, but basically like what if Odin never killed Loki's family or something like that. I don't know. But basically it turns Thor into just like a bro. And like he turns Earth into like a party city a party world and stuff like that. And it's just this whole silly thing about Thor being a bro and falling in love with Jane Foster, getting her name tattooed on him and stuff like that. And it was maybe it was like what if Thor didn't lose his powers or something like that. I don't fully remember. But in that world, what's her name? Kat Dennings and the Duck, Howard the Duck, they get together and they get married during that episode. In this season, they call back to that episode, and it's what if Marcy and Howard the Duck had a baby. And I think her name's Marcy. I can't remember. And so it starts with her being pregnant and giving birth to an egg. And then they have to like protect the egg until it hatches. And it's the whole it starts with the Collector trying to fry the egg to eat it. Or not the Collector, the other guy. Fuck, what's the actor's name? The guy from Battle Planet, from Thor Ragnarok.
Oh,
the leader of Skaro.
Jeff Goldblum, right?
Jeff Goldblum, yeah. It starts with him collecting them and wanting to eat the egg. Then everyone sees that this egg was born on like a specific day, and so like everyone wants to like destroy it or take it over. Mordo wants to put the dark being from Doctor Strange into the egg and use it as a vessel and stuff like that. It's a ridiculous episode. And then they have a baby. And of course, being Howard the Duck and what's her name, they call the baby Birdie. So it's Birdie the Duck is her name. And she comes into play later on where like she becomes part of the Guardians of the Multiverse. Protecting the multiverse with Carter, Captain Britain. Who else was it? The native girl from season 2, who was a new hero from last season, and they actually brought in Storm, and she had Mjolnir, which is really
that's
cool.
Kind of fun.
Yeah. So it was a really cool season, and the way they wrapped it up and they put it all together, like the Watcher is supposed to watch, but he always like interfered here and there, and so it then had the Watcher, the Eminence, who like watches the Watcher basically, put him on trial for interfering. And it even called back to Infinity Ultron from season 1, where at the end of season 1, it was what if Ultron got all the stones, got the Infinity Stones, and he becomes Infinity Ultron. He kills Thanos and basically destroys the universe. And then he hears the Watcher watching him and invades the Watchers, and that's how they formulate the Guardians of the Multiverse. Really cool series. I know the first season was a bit shorter with episodes. This one was like half-hour episodes, but it was really cool. The art's great. It's not all just superhero, but it's like one of the other more fun episodes this season was what if it was basically Bucky and the Russian Captain America, what's his name, teaming up together, and it was a great episode. It was what if Bucky never killed Stark's parents or something like that.
Interesting.
It's a great series. Definitely suggest watching it. I love the show.
Yeah, that's one of those ones where like it was never like, oh, I don't want to watch this, it looks stupid. It was just never got around to watching it.
Yeah. I'd suggest watching it, giving it a shot. It's it's because it's like animated. It wasn't like something that like you have to watch, and it's not technically canon. However, it's probably kind of canon, but not really. And it's a fun watch. It's same as what was the Star Wars one, the Star Wars Stories or whatever, which I've watched the recent season of that, and it was fine. But this one was good. The next one I'm going to talk about is another new show. It's on Hulu. It's called Mid-Century Modern. I'm going to read the synopsis of the show, and I want you guys to tell me what you think this seems like. The series follows three best friends who after an unexpected death, decide to spend their golden years living together in Palm Springs, where the wealthiest one lives with his mother.
I saw this. I haven't watched it, but I saw it as a thing.
Yeah, as a chosen family, they prove that no matter how hard things get, there's always someone around to remind you it would be better if you got your neck done. What's that sound like?
So I know what it's
Sounds
about.
What's that?
I said I know what it's about already, so I don't want to answer.
It sounds like the Golden Girls, right? It sounds like a modern telling of the Golden Girls.
Okay.
And it kind of is.
It kind of is, except the one big difference is it's three gay guys. And it's got Nathan Lane and then two other guys that I don't really know what they're from.
One of them is Matt Bomer, or Bomer, whatever. The youngest one.
Yeah, Matt Bomer, Nathan Lane.
Collar.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the other main character isn't listed as the top three starring because Linda Levine was Nathan Lane's mom. It's basically modern day Golden Girls.
She also just died.
And they have an episode about that.
Okay, so it happened okay.
It happened at I guess probably after filming or something, or maybe during filming, and they had to rewrite a whole episode where her character passes away.
Yeah,
and
it was the end of December that she died.
Yeah, it was. I was not. I didn't know she passed away, and I was not expecting to cry while watching this silly, kind of sort of remake of Golden Girls, which I even looked it up. It is loosely based on Golden Girls. Like,
oh, that's pretty cool.
Basically, they messed up one thing though. The name. It should be Golden Gays.
Yeah, they could have done that, I guess.
They could have done Golden Gays. Like, the main synopsis is three gay guys living together. Like, and it's about the older years. Like, they should have just done Golden Gays. Like, it would have just been funnier. But I'm sure, like, they would have been harder to sell because of the political climate nowadays and whatnot. But Mid-Century Modern is a good name. But it's a good show. I enjoyed it. I had fun. If you enjoyed Golden Girls, you'll like this. If you like just silly sitcom comedy that's sometimes a little, like, sometimes a little over the top, but also, like, makes fun of itself, you'll like this show. Like, I had a lot of fun watching it.
Nice. Yeah, that was one of the ones, I think I added it to, like, our Hulu thing as something like, oh, maybe we should, like, check this out. Because it has funny people in it.
Yeah, it has very funny people in it. Even, God, what's his name? The only best way I know how to explain this is the other funny Jewish actor.
Racist.
No, it a lot of his parts are just being the Jewish actor, or the Jewish guy. What is his name? You'll know as soon as
Richard Kind.
Richard Kind, yes, he's in a couple of episodes. He's really good in those episodes. And even the redheaded son from Modern Family has an episode or two as well.
The redheaded son from Modern Family?
Oh yeah, so the son from Modern Family. Mitchell from Modern Family.
Oh, sorry. When you said son, I was thinking of like the kids.
No. The adult son.
Oh yeah, there he is, Jesse Tyler Ferguson.
Yeah, Jesse Tyler Ferguson. He's in an episode. Yeah, it's a great show. It's a great show. Nathan Lee Graham is the other lead actor.
Okay,
Which
yeah.
I feel like I've seen him in something.
Zoolander and Zoolander 2.
Probably those, and that's it.
He has not been in a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, or at least not a lot of stuff that I've watched, I'm sure.
No, I mean, he just doesn't have a very big, like, filmography.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a good show. It's funny. I enjoyed it. I still think they dropped the ball and not calling it Golden Gaze, and that's about it. But the rest of the show is hilarious. The last thing I watched, I finally got to watch Sonic 3. And in my opinion, that was the best Sonic movie of the three. It was so good. It had so many. It stuck to a good. Like, it kind of stuck to a similar storyline for Sonic Adventure 2 because of the inclusion of Shadow. It gave him a good story. It gave him good motivation. It was very funny with the cloning of Jim Carrey to be both Dr. Robot, like current modern, like the main Eggman villain as well as his grandfather. And they really did a good job of putting the story of Shadow onto film and making him a compelling and interesting character and giving him a compelling and interesting story, as well as like giving you a good story of like Sonic and him learning to like work as a team, which he wasn't she's not used to before, and being part of a team and stuff like that. And it just gave me a lot of reminiscing and flashbacks and whatnot of Sonic Adventure 2 that I loved it. I loved it so much. It made me want to play Sonic Adventure 2 so bad. And then it had a post. I'm shocked it took them this long, but they had another, like they usually have a mid-credits or post-credits scene. They had another mid-credits scene, and we're finally getting in the next one, Mecha Sonic. Which,
I thought it was going to be Big the Cat.
No, but Amy's going to be in it because Amy was in the post-credits scene of this one.
Oh, cool.
So we might get Big the Cat. Big the Cat might be in it. We might get Rouge and Big the Cat and all those other characters that we don't know. Maybe like Cream and whatnot. I don't know. They even had Chow's in this one. They go to Japan and they go to the Chow Garden, which is like a Chuck E. Cheese-esque restaurant, and you have people dressed up as the Chows, and it was adorable. It was a really good movie, really fun, and I wasn't expecting it to be, in my opinion, better than the first one. I thought the first one was like peak for this kind of movie, and I thought the second one was good and held up to it, but wasn't like the first one just eked it out a little bit more. But I think this one
I like the second one a lot.
I think the second one is really good. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's just like it's edging each other out just a little bit. I think like the first one is just that little bit better because it's the original and it's like it's not like building on anything, and it's giving you like the full original story, whereas the second one, like some of the added and side characters were just like not in it for me, and that's why like I kind of lose it. The whole like wedding storyline and like her sister and her sister's fiance, just like I don't like that. That part's boring.
Okay, yeah, that part wasn't great, but like,
yeah, that's
otherwise,
that's
like the Sonic and Knuckles stuff, I thought was like actually quality.
It was all quality. It was all really good. It's just like the first one, I feel like it just edged it out a little bit. Like, I'm not saying the second one's bad. I just think the first one was better, and I think this one went above that, and it gave us a really good, compelling new villain in Shadow, as well as like gave us an interest in what's going on with Elder Eggman and whatnot. It was just really good, and just like the callbacks to a lot of Sonic and Sonic Adventure 2 and stuff like that. Just maybe nostalgia like made it be that much higher for me, but it was, I think, like even the final battle sequence, you could say, had the fucking same song as the final battle sequence in Sonic Adventure 2.
Oh, nice.
Like they literally
did they play like the intro song?
No.
rolling around at the speed of light or however that
No,
goes?
that should have been in Sonic 2 when they were snowboarding down the mountain.
No, I mean,
they
it should
didn't.
have been in this one because this was basically Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah, but they didn't really do a cityscape like snowboarding scene, whereas that's when rolling around the cityscape songs was the snowboarding scene.
Yeah,
Like, they should have
it was
had
the
that
opening
in
level
Sonic
when you're
2.
running through the city.
Yeah, but he was snowboarding down the city.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
I just played that game.
I promise you, he was snowboarding down the city streets.
Oh, you know what? I think that the intro video is snowboarding, and then when you start playing, he's just running.
Yeah, and yeah. But yeah, so like they didn't have Sonic Boom or anything like that, but they had Live and Learn, and it was just like when that started playing, I was like, let's fucking go! This is great. And yeah, like the teasers for the possible sequel, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm really interested to see if they like. I don't know much more outside of Sonic beyond like Robotnik and what other potential villains there could be besides like Rouge and other.
I mean, that's basically
like
like
that.
Robotnik is always the villain.
Yeah,
Even when
and
he's
so
not the villain, he's still the villain.
there is. I don't know if they're going to be able to bring Robotnik back in the next one. So
They always bring him back.
yeah, we'll see. I don't want to spoil it too much. So, but yeah, I definitely suggest to watch. If you like the first two, you'll love this one. I thought it was really good. It was really fun.
Nice. I'm assuming that'll probably do it for this week.
That's it.
All right. Look at that. 2 hours almost on the dot. Well, if you would like to find more of our content, you can head over to www.one-quest.com. You can also, as always, help us out by subscribing to us at patreon.com/onequest. If you can't support us $8, though, you can support us by going to your favorite podcast platform. Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify. Rate us, review us, subscribe to us. All of it helps. You can also find us on social media, facebook.com/onequestonline or at @1_quest on Instagram and Twitter. We're also OneQuest on Blue Sky. You can find our YouTube channel at youtube.com/onequestvideo, and you can always send us an email to social@one-quest.com. And Rich, what is your streaming?
Twitch.tv/B_1 for video game streaming Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Sundays. I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter because Title Update 1 comes out on the 4th of April. So I was getting ready for that. So if you are not doing anything on the 4th of April, you should come hang out on stream. That's a Friday during the day. I took off work for it because I've got 15 PTO. I have 15 vacation days to put to do something with this year. As well as I'm trying to figure out the next game to play. So come try to help me figure out what the next game to play is. Should I replay Hellblade 1 and then play Hellblade 2? Or should I play Avowed? I don't know. Let me know what you want to see.
Nice. And with that, we will be we will be back next week with something else to talk about. Thanks for listening. Bye.
R.I.P. Val Kilmer.
Oh yeah, Batman.
Yeah. R.I.P. Batman. He's been in poor health. I think he had a stroke or something.
Oh, he had cancer. He lost his voice. Like
yeah.
But yeah, R.I.P. Val Kilmer.
Yeah. R.I.P. Batman.
Well, we'll be back next week. Bye.
See yous.